Hello students, I am your S.Sc teacher Mrs. Manju Sharma, and today we are going to start our new chapter Industries in Geography of class 8th. Children, we have studied about the resources in the natural form, but we also studied that the resources are required to be processed and made usable. Then comes the next step of using these minerals and resources, and this is where industries come into play. In this chapter, we shall see the essentials of industry and how it has grown in India, with special focus on the iron and steel industry as well as the cotton industries. Now, the question is, what is industry? The word industry means production of economic goods or services within an economy. Industry is generally classified into three sectors. First is primary sector, and this sector also known as extractive sector. This sector includes agriculture and mining. For example, growing of crops, plantation, extracting coal, iron ore, etc. from mines. The second is secondary sector, also known as the manufacturing sector. This sector covers all manufacturing, refining, improving activities. And the example of this activity is wheat needs to be ground to be made into flour. Cotton needs to be converted into yarn, thread, cloth. And third sector is tertiary sector. This sector involves provision of services instead of products. For example, telecommunication, banking, information technology, legal service, and news media. Now we will know about manufacturing sector. Industries are classified according to various parameters. Broadly, they are divided into three sections. They are classified on the basis of the raw material they work on, the size of the industry, and the ownership. So, we will know about classification based on raw material uses, and these are agro-based industry which works on produce of the agricultural sector are classified as agro-based industry. The second is mineral-based industry. Mineral extracted in various forms have to be processed to be made usable. The industry which process minerals is classified as mineral based industry. Now, the next is marine based industry which works or on process raw material obtained from oceans, rivers, etc. is classified in this group. Next is forest based industry which works on or processes forest produce is called classified as forest based, for example wood, furniture, paper, etc. Now, the next classification is classification based on size. Industries are classified on account of their size. This is generally based on the amount of capital involved in running the industry. First is a small scale industry. These industries need small amount of capital and infrastructure as compared to the large scale industries. And the second is large scale industries which require a very high level of capital, technology, and infrastructure is classified as large scale industries. The next classification is based on ownership. Industries are also classified based on ownership. These could be private, public, joint, or cooperative in nature. First is private sector industries which are established and opened by individuals or a group of individuals are called private sector industry. For example, the Tata Motors, Tisco, Reliance Industries, etc. Second is public sector industries. These industries are owned and operated by the government, like Steel Authority of India, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Next is joint sector industries which have joint ownership of both government and private individuals are termed as joint sectors. For example, Maruti Udyog Limited. And next, cooperative sector industries in these sectors are owned and operated by producers and suppliers of raw material as well as workers, like Amul or Ananda Milk. Now we will know about factors affecting location of industries. An industry is generally located at a place where input costs are low. Any industry requires raw material, land, water, labor, power, capital, transport facilities, and a market to sell its output. Now we will know about the system of industrial. An individual industrial system mainly consists of three aspects. First is input, processing, and outputs. Inputs, this includes land to establish the industry, raw material or semi processed goods, labor, machinery, power, and other infrastructure like road, rail, communication, etc. Next, processing. This involves various functions that change the state of the raw material into the desired state which the industry is set up for. And the last is output. The final output of the industry is the end product the industry would trade into the market. At times, the product is usable directly by consumers or it may be an input or another industry. For example, wool is collected from sheep. This is in a raw form and becomes the raw material for the woolen industry. Now, we will know industrial regions. Any area which has a large concentration of industries center is known as industrial region. And in India, iron and steel industry was initially concentrated in Jharkhand and North Odisha region, and therefore we find many industrial group in Jamshedpur, Bokaro, Bhilai, Raurkela, etc. Now we will know about distribution of major industries. Iron and steel industry, textile industry and information technology industry are the major industries of the world. We shall have a comparative study of these industries in India and other parts of the world. So first of all, we will see about the iron and steel industry. We live in an industrial era. Industrial growth is not possible without iron, which is the most important metal or the backbone of any industry. It can be rolled into sheets. Tata Iron and Steel Company, Tisco, Jamshedpur. Tata Iron and Steel Company, known as Tisco, is the first ever privatized iron and steel plant set up in Asia. It was established in 1907 by Jamshedji Tata. It is the 10th largest steel producing company in the world. Now we will know about Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh district of United States of America is known as the capital of the world of iron and steel. This district produced nearly one fourth of the nation's steel annually. Now, we will study the cotton textile industry. India is one of the leading producers of cotton. The art of weaving cloth from yarn has been practiced since ancient time. In India, initially cloth was made on handlooms and later technology was imported from the other parts of the world for power looms. And the case of cotton textile industries, Ahmedabad, Manchester of India. Ahmedabad in Gujarat has developed as a hub of cotton textile industry. The first mill was established in 1861, but it grew rapidly later in second half of the 19th century due to the rising cost of production of Mumbai. The next example is Osaka in Japan, Manchester of Japan. Osaka is an industrial town in central Japan situated close to the Yoda River. Cotton has played a key role in the Japanese economy for centuries. Now the next sector is service sector. The service sector consists of the part of the economy which are termed as soft, that is activities where people offer their knowledge and time to improve potential performance, productivity and sustainability. And in this sector, information technology is main. Information technology sector is coming up as one of the largest and fastest developing industry of tertiary sector. As this is the most prominent developing industry, it is grouped under the head sunshine or emerging industry. The main factors guiding the development and location of IT industry are availability of infrastructure, low cost and availability of educated human resource. Now we will compare between Silicon Valley and Bangalore. California is a state on the western coast of the USA. The Santa Clara Valley of this region is popularly known as Silicon Valley. The major difference between Silicon Valley and India is that in Indian IT hub, the number of industries involved in research and development as well as innovations in far less. The major occupation or growth in the IT industry here is providing support service like call centers, software development and so on. Many of these services are outsourced by the main industries based in other countries primarily due to cheaper cost of hiring human resources. So students, now we are able to know about industry, its factor and different types of industry in our country. Goodbye.